Sent from Disneyland, history in our hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, Greg Gorley, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, and Ben and Noel Bruning, B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has the Ernest S. Marsh pulling into Main Street Station. Below the train engine is the Floral Mickey Mouse, and in the upper right-hand corner it reads, "Greetings from Disneyland." On the back it reads, "Guests entering Disneyland are greeted by a floral Mickey Mouse and the Santa Fe and Disneyland Depot, where a scaled-down model of a passenger train of another era puffs out of the station to take them on a scenic tour of Disneyland." It's postmarked August 29th, 1972, with an Anaheim cancel and an 8-cent Eisenhower postage stamp, Scott number 1394. I assume they visit the park on Saturday, August 26th, 1972, and Sunday, August 27th, 1972, when park hours were from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. both days. The weather was a high of 79 and a low of 61 on Saturday, and a high of 84 and a low of 65 on Sunday. It's addressed to Mr. and Mrs. E.R. Shinnick of Mendon, Michigan. It reads, "Hi, here we are at Disneyland. We got here Saturday at noon, stayed until 11 p.m., came back today at 11. Now it's 4, and we are trying to get everyone together to leave. This is really some place to see. My feet are killing me. We've all had a wonderful time, but too tired to move. Going to San Diego tomorrow and swim in the ocean. I want to go to Marineland too. We'll write when we get home. Love, Martha, Randy, and kids." Looking at early Main Street windows and windows that appear in Town Square, just past the Disneyana shop and before the Opera House, there's a window with just 2 names listed. Let's start with Wade R. Rubottom. Wade was born July 26, 1903, in St. Louis, Missouri. He eventually made it to Hollywood, where his first credit was as an art director for the 1937 film Stand-In with Leslie Howard and Humphrey Bogart. While working at MGM, he also worked on The Philadelphia Story, The Women, and The Wizard of Oz. Walt recruited him to work for WED Enterprises as an art director for Main Street, U.S.A. Wade only worked for Disney for 1 year between 1954 and 1955, although he continued to work for theme parks afterwards. He was brought on by C.V. Wood at Marco Engineering and helped design Freedomland. He then partnered with fellow art director Randall Duell, whose company designed many theme parks around the U.S. in the 1960s and 1970s. He retired and lived the rest of his life in Santa Barbara. Wade died on July 31st, 1997, at the age of 94. His window on Main Street is his only reference in the park. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following the EP Sunday Sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to EnfieldPost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has the Mark Twain, full of guests passing Cascade Peak and the waterfalls leading into the rivers of America. On the back it reads, "The Mark Twain steamboat passes Cascade Peak and its beautiful waterfalls, one of the newest additions to Frontierland as it continues on a journey down the rivers of America." It's postmarked March 13th, 1974, with an Anaheim cancel and an 8-cent U.S. flag over the White House postage stamp. Scott number 1338F. I assume they visit the park on Sunday, March 10th, 1974, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. The weather was a high of 59 and a low of 39. It's addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Pavlek of Cudahy, Wisconsin. It reads, Tuesday, March 12th. Dear Joe and Louise, a great trip so far. The rest, food, and entertainment, great. Good convention too. Feel like I'm back at the old teaching game again. Weather nice now, in 60s and sunny. Go to Jack's folks Thursday a.m. Hope all is well. Love, Jack and Gigi. The next name on the same window is George Patrick. George was born in Salida, Colorado on May 21st, 1905. He was also an art director, and his early credits are from the 1951 movie Love's Nest with Marilyn Monroe and Fixed Bayonets, which was James Dean's first full-length motion picture, although uncredited in his role as Doggy. He was similarly hired by Walt, but to work on Frontierland as an art director. He also worked for Wed Enterprises for only 1 year between 1954 and 1955. He returned to Hollywood and was an art director through the late 70s. It's interesting that many of the films and television shows he worked on after 55 were westerns. George died on January 10, 1994 at the age of 88. The window on Main Street is his only reference in the park. Wade and George's window has been on Main Street since 1955. Although they did not work for Wed beyond the 1 year, much of their contributions have lasted through Disneyland's 70 years. They were present throughout the construction of Disneyland and lived in local hotels with Bill Martin, see episode 92 of this podcast for more information about him, and Dick Irvine, someone who will have an episode in a future May, for the last 2 months leading up to the opening of the park. I bet we see the two of them in some footage in Disneyland Handcrafted. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has the Dutch scene of It's a Small World. You can see the geese, with their shepherd and her crook, as well as 3 Dutch children sitting in tulips wiggling their clogs underneath a giant windmill. On the back it reads, It's a Small World. The beauty of Holland and the crisp Dutch costumes of its people are admired by guests cruising the 7 seaways of It's a Small World at Disneyland. It's postmarked May 19th, 2026. With a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania cancel and an aspen leaf postcard forever postage stamp. Scott number 5966. It reads, 5/18/26. Hi Clocky, my name is Elsa, and I'm happy to share with you this vintage Disneyland postcard. I hope this is the exact type of postcard you look for. It's from a Fantasyland postcard book, not sure the year. Happy Postcrossing, Elsa. Thank you so much for the postcard, Elsa. I was amazed I didn't have this postcard in my collection, nor do I think I've seen this postcard while looking through or buying Disneyland postcards. It is from a postcard pack from the late 70s. The pack would include around 8 postcards. You could tear off each card and keep a booklet of the images as a souvenir. The mini booklet would have 7 of the images, and on the back of each one, you could write a note of where you sent the postcard. I have a few postcards from the series, but not this one. I wonder if this one was particularly kept. Most of my Sent from Disneyland postcards are pre-1980s, and this postcard pack was definitely from the late 70s. Looking at a recent book I received, Disneyland, Walt Disney World Postcards, A Complete Checklist and Historical Guide, The postcard falls under the category 1971 to present being 1980 when the book and catalog were produced. This was a fun adventure to research the postcard. I was very surprised not to find it in the Nickel Tour book. It's always great to get another amazing postcard from Postcrossing. I recently have sent postcards from the park and taken photos of the postcards next to the mailbox that I've sent them in. I uploaded the photos and used them on postcrossing.com, and it seems receivers have really enjoyed it, as well as others who have clicked the like or favorite button on the site. It's always great to get a new old postcard to add to my collection. This episode marks the end of Imagineering May or Main Street Window May. I hope everyone had a good time learning about some of the amazing designers, builders, and cast members of Disneyland. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sent from Disneyland or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah.